All right, I think we're on now. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up from where we were at yesterday, going into the martial law, the detention camps, the internment camps and whatnot. This is just gonna be a part two. I got some more information that I want to share. Before I get into it, I want to give all praise to the Almighty YAHAWAH, through His only begotten Son YAHAWASHI, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, to whom every knee shall bow and confess. All right, double honors and respect to the elders and apostles of GMS, Great Millstone, who taught me the gospel of Yahawashi, who teach and rule well. Salutations to all my fellow Akim that's out here pushing and laboring. All right, putting their hands to the plow, not looking back. All right, pushing for that penny. All right, salvation. I'm gonna go ahead and get a quick precept before we get into it, because the purpose of these videos is to give warning to the sheep of Israel, man, to the Lord's people, to let them know that, hey, these things are going to happen. This is how you're going to, find mercy, find a way through. You have to come back to the Lord. This is the book of Isaiah 62, verse 6. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence, and give him no rest, Salakia, till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. And when we do these videos, this is us being watchmen, all right, and not holding our peace, not keeping silent, mentioning the Lord, mentioning prophecies. All right, the Lord also said, give my people warning from me. All right, so let's get straight into it.
Connected to the incessant push to get you inoculated, and what might happen? What about the executive orders that allow for things like internment camps? Have you heard of these things? What is an internment camp, and why are the feds hiring for positions of people that would be guarding or transporting to these internment camps? With us now is Deanna Lorraine. She's a Stu Peters Show contributor, which is what has gotten us to this number 2 position. I give you all the credit for that, by the way.
Thank you.
Get her book, by the way, Taking Back America. You can find it at DeannaLorraine.com. Internment camp. Does that mean concentration camp? What exactly is this?
Well, of course. I mean, they're gonna wrap it in some fine dressing, and they're actually calling it green zones. Everything that they label green is sort of a friendly thing, right? It's innocuous. So green zones is what they're labeling it, aka internment camps or concentration camps. And this is known as the shielding approach. And it's right there on the CDC website. And I really feel like your viewers and all of America need to know about what this shielding approach is. Because again, it's being built right now. These camps are being built right now in neighborhoods. And they're about to unleash this on us. We know that a lot of people have been talking about how Biden is probably going to issue another lockdown, another nationwide lockdown. A lot of people are predicting August 11th. Now, we don't know if he's going to go through with that or not, but that's the fodder. That's the talk of the town, is another lockdown. But going along with that is this, what they're calling a shielding approach. And what the shielding approach is removing people from their households, from their families, even separating couples who they believe are high risk, right? High risk for COVID, and putting them in.
Y'all hear that? This is the shielding approach. This is what they call the shielding approach. And it sounds nice. It sounds harmless. Let's scroll back.
That's the talk of the town, is another lockdown. But going along with that is this, what they're calling a shielding approach. And what the shielding approach is removing people from their households, from their families, even separating couples who they believe are high risk, right? High risk for COVID, and putting them in these camps. The camps will be built all over different communities all across the nation. Every city will have these camps. And
every city will have these camps.
Of course, what do they consider as high-risk individual? Anyone who is elderly and anyone who has any kind of a immunocompromised condition or pre-existing condition. And then, of course, I would imagine that they would believe that anyone who's not vaccinated is a high-risk individual, right?
Bingo.
So great, they go and rip the person from their home against their will. Doesn't matter because it's all for the purpose of health. Put this in the...
Yep, so your rights don't matter. The Constitution, because you're going to have some fool out there that say, no, that's against the Constitution. They can't do that. Well, yes, they can. And, you know, in the name of public safety, national emergency, they can do this. And at the end of the day, we are all slaves. All right, we're all slaves by way of contracts, adhesion contracts, birth certificate, social security card, driver's license, etc. We are all property.
To put them in this internment camp or green zone, if you will, and keep them there for at least 6 months. They're saying the program would be at least 6 months, but there's a caveat in there in this document that says they have the right to...
Hold up, what?
Zone, if you will, and keep them there for at least 6 months. They're saying the program would be at least 6 months, but there's a caveat in there in this document that says they have the right to extend it indefinitely until the pandemic of COVID disappears.
They're going to hold you for 6 months, which, you know, they're very good at keeping their timeline promises. As you know, we're approaching the end of the 15 days to slow the spread, 15 days to flatten the curve. We're almost there. Just hang on.
Yeah, exactly. But still, it says here, though, don't worry, because there's latrines in here. Okay. Don't worry. There's latrines and there's showers in here as well. But each person is given cleaning supplies because the individual is responsible for keeping their own space in this concentration camp clean, by the way. Who knows what happens to you, what kind of punishment if you don't keep your cleaning space clean. But moving on, it even says in this document that they're going to, and this is, of course, for the purpose of getting COVID down to zero, which we all know is impossible because it's just the common cold or flu. But they say in this document the kinds of repercussions that this is going to have. Never mind them, but it says here, number one, social, cultural, or religious practices. They say, yes, we got a plan for the disruption of social networks. They admit that community celebrations, religious holidays, funerals, and other rites of passages are cornerstones of many societies, which they are. And they say that a strong community engagement, basically propaganda, making sure that people know that this is important, is going to be important for the success of this program. Because what's going to happen is they're saying failure to do so can lead to interpersonal and communal violence, because people are going to be missing those community religious services and funerals of family members and community members. And they're admitting right here, this can lead to interpersonal and communal violence, of course. Moving on, mental health. It says that this additional stress and worry are going to be common. In addition to the risk of stigmatization and feeling isolated, the shielding approach may have an important psychological impact and may lead to significant emotional distress, exacerbate existing mental conditions, and lead to depression, helplessness, grief, thoughts of suicide among those are separated.
And this is all written on the CDC's website.
This is all written in the CDC website. So in summary, this is happening. They're building this right now. And we're either going to stand up against this now, and this is the slippery slope with the vaccines, separating the vaccine from the non-vaccinated, and having the vaccinated be responsible or demonized and pinned as the ones responsible. They're going to be the ones to blame for why we need this shielding approach, because if it weren't for the unvaccinated,
which they're already painting the picture, the ones that are that Esau is painting to be the most resistant to getting the jab is going to be the Israelites, all right, the 12 tribes, you so-called Negros, Hispanics, Native Americans. You're the face of why things won't be able to go back to normal, why we won't be able to so-called reach herd immunity. Revelation 12 and 10. He already has these different terms to place you as a category. All right, he's calling you anti-vaxxers. This is Revelation 12 and 10. It says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his Messiah. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down. Who is that accuser? That accuser is Esau. All right, the Edomites are the people that are behind this wicked agenda. All right. And what they're doing is accusing. They're playing the blame game. You see, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And what is that word accuser in the Greek? See, we like to go into these words to give you more edification and understanding of what's being conveyed here. All right, accuser, categorio. See that in the Greek, categorio, which is where you get the word category. Okay, and this is what this devil does. He always has a name, some type of stigma or a category that he likes to place you jakes into. Anti-vaxxers. And he purposely puts out this whole Tuskegee experiment out there to make it seem like that's the reason why a lot of you jakes don't want it, when a lot of you just don't want it and you don't trust this damn devil, right? Because you already know what time it is. But he's setting it up to where you're going to be the reason that we can't move forward as a country, as a nation. You're the reason why we can't get over this pandemic and get back to the lives that we all desperately want, even though the devil is telling you himself, Klaus Schwab, that we're not going back to normal. He already said it out his own mouth that we're not going back to the world the way it was right before this thing started.
We wouldn't have to have the COVID continue. We wouldn't have to have the shielding approach. I mean, how much more reminiscent of the Holocaust do you need to get?
And here it is. Honestly, most people I know done got this shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't see much resistance, especially now because shit, Jake talking about, I just met a Jake the other day, say he had to get it for a job. So you got Jake's getting it because they need to get a job. Jake's getting it because they want to travel, Jake's getting it because of the incentives. Like, I mean, majority of the people getting this shit, but really he wants the elect, all right, because the elect are the ones who are going to give that resistance along with other Edomites. All right, you're going to have other Edomites that's going to resist as well. But the justification to put people into these camps is going to be the so-called black man, Hispanic, Native American.
Yeah, there's literal camps being built here, and they have no qualms about separating families and partners, disrupting your culture, everything about it.
You just had to mention the Holocaust, didn't you? Just to activate Right Wing Watch.
Right Wing Watch.
All of these fact checkers are going to get all over you now.
I know.
It says that we're going to be in a Holocaust type experience. Well, what else could you compare it to? When in our history have you ever gone and rounded up healthy people and put them into a camp, separating them from their families, keeping them away from funerals, weddings, celebrations, birthdays, going to school, going to work, all of these other things? That is what happened in the Holocaust. And you wonder, why did this happen? How did these Jews all allow
history repeats itself
themselves to be killed by the Germans? Then, well, it seems to be pretty synonymous with
which were Edomites.
Complacency that's happening here in America right now. Where is the resistance? I just asked the mama bears of Iowa, where are Americans? Where is the fight? You see this happening in Australia, in the UK. People are resisting in other countries. Why not here?
They're not resisting here because this is Babylon the Great. This is their rejoicing city. They dwell without care. This is Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 15. This is the rejoicing city that dwelt carelessly, that said in her heart, I am, and there is none beside me. See, the average mind of an American is that, that's happening on that side of the world. That ain't gonna happen here. That can't happen here. We got liberty. We got the Constitution. We got rights. It says, how will she become a desolation, a place for beasts to lie down in? Everyone that passes by her shall hiss and wag his hand. That's going into when this place gets utterly destroyed by the missiles. I got two more I want to get that correlate with that. I want to get the one in Jeremiah if I can find it. I don't know the key words in it, but Isaiah 47 is another one. 47:7, it says, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Revelation 18:7, how much she have glorified herself, speaking about Babylon the Great, and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. Let me do a search real quick. I wanted to get the precept in Jeremiah 2. All right, Salakia, because I forgot the wording. Let me check one more thing. Without care. That's it. Jeremiah, that's it. Jeremiah 49:31. Arise, get you up unto the wealthy nation that dwelleth without care, saith the Lord, which have neither gates nor bars, which dwell alone. And that's what's happening with Babylon right now. It's being isolated. You know, all of its nations, all of its allies are turning against it, and it's about to be alone with Israel when this World War III, this Armageddon kickoff. These nations are going to be against Babylon the Great. But that's the point, though, that wealthy nation that dwelleth without care. That's why nobody's uprising and doing anything, because Americans are passive, they're lazy, and they're dumbed down.
It's disgusting to me because we're getting so way more complacent than any other country, which is just, it boggles my mind, Stu, and it's really disgusting. And I'm going to add one more thing here that's disturbing. Going along with this Holocaust extermination agenda, there was just a document that National News actually found, and it states, and again, this is public knowledge, public information, that the UK government is seeking a contract for what they call excess body storage in a preparation for some sort of a mass extermination event.
Listen up. We're going to rewind that just a little bit to the 7-minute mark.
It's a document that National News actually
Bring it out.
found. And it states, and again, this is public knowledge, public information, that the UK government is seeking a contract for what they call excess body storage in a preparation for some sort of a mass extermination event.
Because just like the prophet Ezra said, what he saw the beginning of mass death, great death in the earth. Let's get 2nd Esdras 16 and 18. This is where we at. Everything that's written must come to pass. That's what our Lord said. 2nd Esdras 16:17. Woe is me, who would deliver me in those days? It's like you. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. You see, Esau has his hand in the food, the supply chain. He's destroying, he's manipulating it. It says the beginning of famine and great death. Woo! The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? You jump down to verse 31. It says, even so in those days, there should be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses. Oh, so like not that. That ain't what I was looking for. Might be in the 15th chapter. But I'm going to let it play on out.
And this is a procurement of a contract with the Westminster City Council, specifically of the UK, is looking for facilities. They're seeking government contracts to have facilities they admit that they're looking for these mass body storages in the event of an excess deaths situation for the 32 London boroughs in the city of London. This is a contract that they say is supposed to last 4 years. So apparently the government is expecting some sort of a mass event of a mass death situation sometime very soon, and they're seeking government facilities to hold these bodies. So what are we supposed to think, Stu? I mean, are we supposed to think that, yeah, they're planning for these massive deaths? Are they going to be starving us out? Are they going to be shutting off institutions or
This is the book of the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 16, verse 4. It says, "They shall die of grievous deaths, they shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth, and they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth. For thus saith the Lord, enter not into the house of mourning, neither go to lament, nor bemoan them." This is a commandment. All right, because a lot of Israelites are about to die. They're about to be judged. All right, don't bemoan these people. Don't feel sorry for them. It says, "For I have taken away my peace from this people, saith the Lord, even loving kindness and mercies." You see, the Lord has taken away his peace. Real soon, he will not be found. These videos will not be accessible. All right, Israelites are not going to know how to get close to the Lord or how to get right with the Lord real soon. This is Jeremiah 25 and 33. It says, and the slain of YAHAWASHI shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. All right, dung is shit. All right, it's just gonna be like dog shit. If you go in these areas, especially where you got a lot of Edomites to live at, you're gonna see, you'll see dog shit here and there, because they tend to pick up after they pets, unlike Jake. But you'll see some poops, everywhere. But that's how bodies are gonna be. They're gonna be like dog shit. All right, let's go to 2nd Esdras 15. And I'm gonna play this next video clip in a second. Because it's all making sense now. All right, the scripture says, "At the end it shall speak and not lie." All right, this 2nd Esdras 15. See if I can find it real quick. Might be in 16, but I don't want to spend too much time looking on it. But it is in 16, man. I don't know how I missed it. But tell you how a man is gonna desire to hear another man's voice. Because man, these cities about to be real desolate, man. A lot of people about to be out here giving up the ghost. Let me see if I can find that real quick. This is 2nd Esdras 16:22. It says, "But for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy." And this whole jab shit is another form of the sword. It says, "And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it." It ain't gonna be nobody out here, keeping up with the landscape, and it's gonna be on some I Am Legend shit. You're gonna have, grass growing out the roads and shit. See, it says, "The tree shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice," just like they had in I Am Legend. Let me see if I can find that clip. See if we can get that scene right here. This is a perfect example of that scene. One man shall desire to hear another man's voice. Will Smith was by himself for so long. I'm gonna pause it. But Will Smith was by himself for so long, and he just desired to hear another person's voice. He'll get on his radio and broadcast out every day. You know, saying, "Hey, if anybody's out there, I have food, I have shelter. I could take care of you. Just, contact me back, say something." Because he was desiring to see another man, hear another man or woman, just hear somebody else's voice. All he had was his dog. So check this out. See all that grass in the road? So he pulling up to a record store. And so he want that normalcy. So he got mannequins out there. He's speaking to the mannequin and shit, having a conversation with them. Going in that bitch strapped too. It ain't nobody there but his ass. Look. Speaking to the mannequins. about to flirt with one of the female mannequins. Watch this shit. I think she feeling you, bro. Look, she looking at you, bro. Uh-oh. I don't know. That one might be the one for you, bro. Don't be shy. Going to check himself out. Look, speaking to the clerk. So that's 2nd Ezra 16. All right. Verse 27 again. So that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. For of a city there should be 10 left and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks. Yeah, man. So it's gonna be very desolate out here. A lot of people about to be out here dropping. All right. So about 10 years ago, I remember coming across this information about these FEMA coffins in Georgia. You had thousands of FEMA coffins. Not too far from Atlanta, maybe about an hour away in Madison, Georgia. So check this out. Let me see if anybody's on here. Nope. All right. So like, I ain't gonna play that again.
Pulled to the side road, which was a new cut gravel dirt road in front of a business, a builder supply business, actually top-notch builder supply in Madison, Georgia. To my right, this was previously was a soybean field, and this little new cut road divided this field. And the right side of the road was filled with, which I thought was portable toilets. I never looked at them that close. Same in color, maybe black, but which was an odd color. And I was sitting there going over my notes, and a van pulled alongside of me that turned out to be the property owner. And he greeted me, and he was by himself. And so we had a good little dialogue there, and I asked him about the field of black boxes. What were they? Because I'd never seen anything like that. And his statement was that if he told me, I would be one of few people in Madison, Georgia that knew about them. And he says they're disposable coffins, I believe he told me. And he says there's 100 at that time. He said there was 125,000 there.
Woo! 125,000 disposable coffins.
They were were stacked, he told me 15 high. I asked him who owned them, and he stated that the CDC owned them and that they...
Did you hear that? That was it. Hold up, I go back.
As their disposable coffins, I believe he told me. And he says there's 100, at that time, he said there was 125,000 there. They were stacked, he told me 15 high. I asked him who owned them, and he stated that the CDC owned them and that they were leasing the land, leasing his land for storage. And he said his brother.
Now, this video clip, this clip itself was uploaded back in 2016. But again, this information came out about 10 years ago, I want to say.
Worked with the CDC in Atlanta and had been asked by the CDC to do a 3-year extension to place temporary morgues all across the nation.
So in January of this year, 2005, we decided to drive to beautiful
2005. So this was goddamn 16 years ago.
Madison, Georgia, and take a look for ourselves. It was on a Sunday and no one was around, with the exception of this one pickup truck that was coming out the narrow road that we were going in on next to this field. We flagged down the pickup truck, and it was providential that the driver of this pickup truck turned out to be the son of the man that owned this field. So naturally, we started asking him questions. And he told us that not long ago, there had been as many as 500,000 of these grave liners or disposable coffins. We asked him for permission if we could look around, and he said yes. So we did. We're just getting an idea for the size of these boxes. What could these boxes be used for? Well,
You look like you put about 2 or 3 bodies in that bit.
they're called casket liners. Now that's an interesting term, isn't it? It's a casket liner. When I first heard the term casket liner, I thought perhaps a lining for a casket. But this is too big to be on the inside of a casket. So certainly this can be used as a casket. This is an inexpensive casket.
That's right. So that's all I want to get on that. So all right, we know Esau, he has, he puts his little, matter of fact, I get a preset real quick to show you what this devil do. All praise to YAHAWASHI for giving us the game. All right, this is the book of Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." Pre means before, scribe means to write. And what Esau does is he writes, these things as laws and policies. He puts all these things in place before a so-called event happens. And then once that event happens, hey, now he has everything. Now he has a justification to enforce this grievousness that he had already prescribed. So this is one of the things that's being prescribed now in the state of New York, which is ironic because New York has already announced that to be the first state that in the U.S. to mandate jabs, to basically go into public venues, starting in the next few weeks, right? So they have this written, which is Assembly Bill 8416, which it relates to the removal of cases, contacts, and carriers of communicable diseases who are potentially dangerous to the public health. And this has been introduced and is currently in the committee. It's in the Assembly Committee. All right, so it's sitting around right now. And it says a few interesting things, but I just want to get a couple things that number 2, it says, upon determining by clear and convincing evidence that the health of others is or may be endangered by a case, contact, or carrier or suspected case, contact, or carrier of a contagious disease, that in the opinion of the governor, after consultation with the commissioner, may pose an imminent and significant threat to the public health, resulting in severe morbidity or high mortality, the governor or his or her delegate, including but not limited to the commissioner squad, such person, may order the removal or the detention of such a person or of a group of such persons by issuing a single order identifying such persons either by name or by a reasonably specific description of the individuals or group being detained. Such person or group of persons shall be detained in a medical facility or other appropriate facility or premises designated by the governor or his or her delegate by in compliance with subdivision 5 of this section. All right, and it's 160 more 7 lines. Esau be writing all this shit that ain't nobody gonna read but they asses and they lawyers, right? And this nigga's just the damn devil, man. He just a damn demon. That's what he is. But he already has this, and you best believe more things like this are out here. All right, to say, you know, to give them justification and coming around rounding people up and taking them out of their homes, you know, and taking them where he want to take them. All right, 2nd Ezra 16 and 72, it says, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. And that's what time is coming. Our people are about to start getting casted out of their houses. All right, you don't have any liberties, man. That's why we stress to our people to repent and come back to the Lord, because that's going to be your defense in that day. All right, that's the only way. It don't matter how many guns, you know, how much target practice you do. If you ain't got the covering of YAHAWASHI to deliver you, you just ain't gonna be delivered. All right, you're gonna get taken in these camps, and Esau gonna have his way with you. This is Ezekiel chapter 12, verse 21. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged, and every vision faileth? Tell them, therefore, thus saith the Lord power, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision. Because Israelites, you know, and I remember personally, before I came in the faith, when I was hearing Israelites prophesy of martial law, I remember, man, that ain't gonna happen. I remember saying that to myself, like, nah, that ain't gonna happen, man. That if they do, man, that's a long time ago. And look how fucking quick time flies. We are already here now. You know, we here. And that's the mindset of Jake. They say, hey, you know, the days are prolonged. You know, that ain't gonna happen no time soon. This is Amos chapter 9. Let's get a quick pre there. Amos chapter 9, verse 10. It says, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. And that's what Jake be saying. Oh, you know, them bad times ain't gonna happen. Oh, that ain't gonna come. We got rights. They can't do that. Nope, but all the sinners are gonna die by the sword. Verse 23 in Ezekiel chapter 12. Tell them, we read that, verse 24, for there shall be no more any vain vision nor flattering divination within the house of Israel. And that's what's going on within Israel, within the nation of Israel. Those are the circumcision and those are not the circumcision. It's a bunch of vain visions and flattering divinations. You know, niggas thinking that they gonna get their money right and get freedom in Babylon by way of you know, economic freedom, you know, Bitcoin and digital currencies, and building businesses, you know, or thinking they you know, you got real bug outs out here thinking they gonna, you know, get in tune with their higher self and they gonna ascend up out of here and, you know, become gods on earth through meditation and, you know, sunbathing. No, man. Verse 25, for I am Yahawah Bashem Yahushua, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass, and it shall no more be prolonged. For in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word and will perform it, saith the Lord power. I'm gonna go ahead and end. It's already pretty long, 40 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and end that, Lord willing. You know, if you made it to the end, Lord willing, you were edified. And I want to give all praise to YAHAWASHI, the water YAHAWASHI, for the Holy Spirit to go into this topic. And Lord willing, edify your sheep. Until next time, Shalom wa Barakia.